Good morning, it's Shana Renee. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I am a relationship coach, human design consultant, and tarot reader. If you need my services, I'm an astrologer too. If you need my services, check the description box below. Let's get into the video. Today we are talking about variables in human design and how they can play out in relationships. All right, so let's start with motivation. If you don't know where your motivation is, you can look in your human design chart in the chart properties and see it. So there are 6 motivations. All right, today's example, we're going to talk about need versus desire. Yeah, this can be a little challenging in a relationship because people with need are motivated by literally what they need. You know, the for their well-being, having their basic needs met. Now, I'm not saying they're like bare minimum people, but they tend to be motivated by only what they need, right? And someone with desire are motivated by what they want, what they desire. So in a relationship, this can be conflicting because the person who has need may see the desire person as excessive and unnecessary. Like when it comes to money, for example, money is probably a huge argument or conflict for these two people. They're probably not going to agree how to spend money because the person with desire is going to want to spend money on what they want, while the need person is going to be focused on the necessities. Okay. And they may feel like the desire person is irresponsible, things like that. Then when it comes to like the emotional stuff, the person with need is going to be focused on having their emotional needs met, right? Whether that's affection, someone to listen to them, quality time, whatever it may be. The person with desire might seem a little bit selfish because they're out there chasing their desires. So you can see how that might be challenging. But let's say that you have, 2 people with need or 2 people with desire. So the people with the same motivation in life are probably going to get along a bit better. They're going to be able to like walk the same path a little bit better because they're motivated by the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that having different motivations means that you cannot um, walk together, because you actually can, but it's just going to look different. It's going to take up probably more compromise. Now, I will say, on the shadow side of having that same motivation, let's say both of you do have need. If you go into transference, which means when you're operating in the opposite motivation, because each motivation has an opposite. If you're operating in the opposite motivation, then you're not being in your not self. So the opposite motivation of need is fear. Okay. Fear in human design means investigating, right? Needing to know like all the information before making a move. Now, somebody who has the motivation fear, they're supposed to do this. They're supposed to, get all the information they can. But someone whose motivation is need is be motivated by fear, then they're out of alignment. Okay, so that's where you might see someone with need go into a scarcity mindset, that they're not going to get their needs met. They have to know every little thing instead of just what they need to know, right, in order to make a move, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and talk about determination, or AKA digestion variable. This one is one of my favorite ones to talk about when it comes to relationships, because we can really see this in a practical way, because determination, digestion, talks about how we eat, literally how we consume food, but also how we consume information and digest life in general, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about arrows here. Okay. If you have a right facing arrow, then your digestion is passive. If you have a left facing arrow, your digestion is active. People with right arrow digestion tend to need more like calm settings while they're eating. with less distractions, but also they need to eat less. Okay, so like these people, they can go longer without eating. Maybe you see them fasting. They don't need to eat as much. People with the left facing arrow, they need to consume a lot more, and they tend to have a more active eating environment. Okay, so I'm going to use my real life as an example. I'm right facing, so I'm passive eater, and I have low sound digestion. So my digestion is determined by the sound, right? I need low sounds. I don't like loud sounds. I don't like a lot of busyness going on while I'm eating. Everything needs to be like kind of quiet, if not silent, when I'm eating. So I don't even like to watch TV while I eat or anything like that. I did it for years out of conditioning, and I found that I never even felt satisfied like with my food. Um, and it just, the whole thing just gave me like an uncomfortable feeling, anxiety, whatever. Now my partner, he is left facing, more active. He eats more. Okay, he eats more. The first thing I'm going to say about that is when I fall into his patterns of eating, I gain weight fast because I'm not meant to be eating as much as him. And he has like, funny enough, he has a really low metabolism. He never gains an ounce. Okay, he's been slim his whole life, same size as he was as a teenager. Um, and he has high sound digestion. So he needs high noises, louder noises, like more noise going on. He loves to watch TV while he eats, refuses to eat without the TV on. So you can see how meal times are tricky for us, because it's like somebody's going to have to be, if we eat together, somebody's going to have to be uncomfortable and not eating for their design type the correct way. Because if we eat the way I need to eat, he's not getting what he needs. If we eat the way he needs to eat, I'm not getting what I need. So generally what I do is I'll eat before him. I'll sit and eat before him, and then he'll eat so he can have the TV on and whatever. You figure ways around it. I'm not going to say it's a hard rule, but I'm pretty sure that if you have a right facing, like I said, arrow, it's going to be more of a calm. It just depends. Like, not everybody's is environmental. Some of you have like touch. Eating and taste eating, like whether it's hot or whether it's cold. So not everybody's depends on the environment. So some of you don't like have that problem. But your problem may come when it comes to what to eat. What you're going to eat is probably going to be a bigger thing for you. Like if you're a person with cold digestion, you're with a person who has hot digestion, or like if what's the other one? There's another. I mean, I know them all, but like I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But it was a specific one that I wanted to like throw in here for an example, but I can't think of it right now. Anyway, hopefully you guys know what I'm saying. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about environment variable, because this one is similar to the eating variable and how it can affect relationships. I'm a mountains person. Okay, that means that I like to be at a higher vantage point. I really like to be able to see everything around me from my vantage point. So I really like mountain people. Well, me and other mountain people, I'm sure, like big, wide open windows with like lots of light coming in. I like to be able to see out, into the world around us. My person is a caves person. Caves people like everything closed off. They like to be able to see the entryway, who comes in, who goes out. The very, very like private, hermity, isolated kind of environment, right? This is comfortable to them. So my partner hates the windows open. He's always, why do you have the windows open? Why don't you have the curtains up? He likes everything shut off. He doesn't want anybody being able to see into our house or anything. So, that was a little easier to compromise on, because obviously we're not always home at the same time. So whenever either of us are home by ourselves, we can create, an environment that we like. So you may want to look at you and your partner's environments to see like if you can compromise with them, or like if they really clash with each other. I mean, there's ways to create your environment, no matter like where you are. So just because you have different environments, doesn't mean that you can't compromise. But ideally, your living space will uh, match your environment. Okay. Now, perspectives. I haven't gone as deep into perspectives variable as I would like yet, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that, but I will talk about how if the arrow is pointing right, then you're meant to see the world in a peripheral, like a bigger picture. And then if it's pointing left, you're more focused in on it. To me, if you have these opposites in a relationship, I kind of feel like sometimes your points of view might clash. But then again, like they could complement, each other if they're opposite. Yeah. I'm going to go back to environment for a second because I just forgot something really important that I wanted to mention. So, if you are right facing, that means that you are supposed to be the observer in your environment. If you're left facing, it means you're meant to be observed. You're meant to be active and observed by others in your ideal environment. Now, if you and your person have the same environment, but one of you is meant to be the observer and one is meant to be observed. Duh. If one of you's right arrow, one of you's left arrow, but you have the same environment, then this might work really, really well because you can both be in the same environment and you're doing what you're meant to be doing and they're doing what they're meant to be doing. One of you is, watching the other. And I think that's probably a really cool dynamic. I don't think I've personally worked with or met anyone yet that has that, but I'm pretty sure it exists. So that's just like all I have to say. This is kind of impromptu video, so it's not like all organized and shit. But I hope that this helped you guys in some kind of way. Bye.